Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League here on Thingamajig's racing channel. And we're stepping in. We're a hero again. What can I say? I just like being the big goddamn hero around here. Now, honestly, Idle 4 Gaming is covering League 4 of the GRSC Season 2, but he is unable to cover Round 1, so I volunteered. I said, I'll pay tribute. Come on. Let me do this for you, brother. Let me take up these arms. Let me carry you across the line. So if you want to carry on watching the rest of League 4 for the rest of this season, then you've got to get yourself over to Idle 4 Gaming on YouTube to keep an eye on events. But for now, I will be doing those duties for him. So what can I say? We're here. It's a brand new season. And what a season it is lining up to be. And the League 4 are using the Nissan Silvia Group 4 car throughout this season. Round 1 is at Daytona. It's a 50-minute race. And they have to use all 3 compounds. Yes, baby, we're going long and hard. It's the endurance. And this season is going to be peppered with sprint races and endurance races, so make sure you do not miss a single minute of the action. And always remember the Ultimate Racing League's partners, Dubby Energy Drinks and Eldridge Air Conditioning. Right then, without further ado, shall we have a look at whom are the players of League 4? Who are the big boys that are knocking on League 3's door? Because there's promotion and demotion throughout these leagues. Oh, Idle's in the chat as well. Hang one sec. Idle saying, morning, mate. Thank you so much for covering round 1. Just trying to get this leg better. Had an intense week of physiotherapy and hydrotherapy. Appreciate it. That is not a problem, my friend. Not a single problem. You work on you and you getting better. We want you running marathons and rearing around on your motorbike again. And DACC saying morning thingy bob. Well, hello. And then they've gone. Oh, well. Right then, so let's get on with it. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Right then, the grid as it stands. Here they are. These Nissans do look absolutely delicious. So on pole, we have Matt Psycho, ladies and gentlemen, with a set of racing soft tyres adorned on his Grello Nissan. He is in an absolutely cracking position here to take the spoils. Who wants to stop him? Well, in second place, we have Bendit in the Bass Pro Shop. Nice. In third, sorry, that was second. He's second. In third, we have the AlphaTauri of Harry G. And he is on the hard tyres. Bendit's on the soft tyres. And Harry G on the hard tyres. In fourth place, we have a DB also in an AlphaTauri Nissan, looking splendid. And he'll be starting on the soft tyre, ladies and gentlemen, the soft tyre. They have to use all 3 compounds, remember. All right, let's make our way up into fifth place. This is Gower in a lovely, lovely Rizzler livery. That's really nice. That's pleasant, my friend. That's giving me vibes. Skin up our kid. Right, in 6th. We're up to 6th. We are at 6th. 6th place then, it's a Rocket Nissan, ladies and gentlemen. And that is piloted by VRC Pat. Go get him, Pat. And he is on the hard tyre. Pat the Stat. I know him. I know him from past, and the man is a statistician, I tell thee. 7th place. It's a Pilot Nissan, and it is driven by Big Dan. Biggie Dan is going to be causing some mayhem from 7th on the grid with hard tyres. And he'll be aiming to get right up there and into it, I tell ye. Okay, in 8th place. Oh, yeah. It's a Buzzing Hornets, ladies and gentlemen. An ode to EJ, Eddie Jordan. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tribute to his F1 team. That one is piloted by Ginger. In 9th place, and I believe this is another nod to the Jordan team with the 7-Up livery. What's Michael Schumacher first drove in when he first joined F1. And yes, that one is piloted. It's 9th, and it's Koi Cup. He's on the medium tyres. All the rest of them, apart from Matt Psycho, Bendit and DB, are on softs. Everyone else has been on hards. Koi Cup is starting on the medium tyre. Then in 10th place, in another Rocket Nissan, we have URL Ade, ADE. And he is looking for positions, I tell you. And then in 11th, and in the 7-Up livery, we have Sid the Sloth, and he's on the soft tyres. And I know Sid the Sloth from the BTCC, the replica BTCC they run on Wednesdays. And he is a fun little driver, I tell you. So let's have a quick catch up with the chat, and then we will crack on, ladies and gentlemen. So Matt Psycho, DACC equals Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho also saying, morning thingy. Well, good morning. Muddy in the chat saying, morning, good sir. How the devil are you? I'm all right. And Bloomfield saying, hey, oh, man, I hope it's a cracking race. Can't wait to see. It's exciting already. These little Nissans, I've raced these before. They can be quite fun. So, without further ado, then, let us get on with it. Why am I looking down there? Oh, I'd like to see the rest of the field. Is that the best shot you got? Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's changed. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 27 laps, 3 different compounds of tyres, and some Pro Sim Racer tears to come. Let us go. The lights have gone. Matt Psycho bolts. Bendit sets chase with Harry G in 3rd. DB on those soft tyres, remember, in 4th place with Gower 5th. And we've got Pat in 6th. And it's the first corner. And Gower looking like he's going to get a move done on DB. And they're side by side coming out of the corner. AlphaTauri versus the Rizzler. And DB now has it lined up for the next corner, but Gower is not giving up. He's going to try and go around the outside on those hard tyres, but no. DB survives, ladies and gentlemen. Cracking stuff, but there's a little closing up there. And Pat looks like he's going to get a move done on Gower. Oh, Gower went for gold, ladies and gentlemen. And then Pat just nipped one up the inside of him there. Pat on those hard tyres. He's going for all. Oh my word, I thought he was late breaking up to the inside of DB there, and now Gower takes the position back. I think Pat just got a little late on the brakes there. Side by side though, and Pat's going to have that inside line coming into this corner, and Pat then does claim 5th place ahead of Gower, but Gower trying to come back at him. And it's a lovely little tussle on lap 1 there between Pat and Gower. Big Dan in 7th place, and he's getting a little toe off those guys. Koi Cup in 8th, Ade in 9th, Sid the Sloth in 10th, and Ginger has slipped down to 11th, unfortunately. Matt Psycho, meanwhile, getting on with business, and Bendit trying to stay with him. Harry G, oh, look at that. AlphaTauri's looking splendid with DB on the soft tyres, and Harry G on those hard tyres. Harry G trying to survive from the DB. Gower still in his through. There we go. And now Gower off of the toe, comes up the inside, and I think Harry is up ahead of DB, ahead of us. And DB on those softer tyres, Harry on the hard tyres, and now Gower has the position. Ooh, ahead of Pat. Pat then looking for an opportunity maybe to slip it back in, but Big Dan's having a look as well. Big Dan on the inside, but no, he thinks better of it. And Koi Cup right in the thick of the action. Also, whoa, look at this through the hairpin, ladies and gentlemen. They're all at other. They're all close. DB now up into third. Harry G is in fourth. Gower is fifth, with Pat now fighting it for sixth. Big Dan in the mix in seventh. Koikap eighth. Sid the Sloth in ninth. Aid in 10th. And Ginger, so Sid the Sloth, has he moved up another position ahead of Aid? Great stuff. Sid the Sloth, those Wednesday races paying off for him, because he's getting some nice pace here in Sunday evening. Matt Psycho still has not been contested yet, but Bendit staying with him all the way, tracking him, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long race. You don't win it in the first lap. You just got to keep on going and save it for the end. DB, though, doing a great job on those soft tyres, up into third, with Harry G fourth, Gower in fifth. He's starting to pull away from Pat now. And it looks to me like, yes, definitely there's a gappage. And Big Dan Koikap in their own little fight here and joining Pat. So this is going to be a Karaka Laka with Pat, Big Dan and Koikap all duking it out. And someone went in the wrong line there, Aid, taking the scenic route through the chicane. And that's another position for Sid. Well, Sid the Sloth was ahead of Aid. So Sid the Sloth regaining that 9th place back, as Aid slips down to 10th, and Ginger, he had a woe off of the line for some reason, and he's ended up down in 11th. But it's a long game, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it's not won on lap 2 or 3. When there's 27 laps, it's lap 27 that's gonna count. Although these early laps, you can build a foundation towards your win, which is what Matt Psycho's doing right now. And Bendit isn't letting him get it all his own way. DB at the moment pulling away from his team partner, and Harry G at the moment now under pressure from Gower. Gower on those hard tyres also, though, so Gower just doing it off pace, no advantage with the tyres, ladies and gentlemen, and Gower giving it big guns Gower, they call him. Pat in 6th, and now the sun's out, Gower's guns are out. Pat is in 6th, with Big Dan following in 7th, Koikap in 8th, Sid the Sloth up into 9th, with Aid in 10th after his detour, and Ginger is sitting in 11th. But Ginger, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely closing up on the players. He is definitely closing up on the rest of the pack. Matt Psycho at the moment peacocking in the lead with that purple lap, and he's coming towards the chicane. Let's have a look at how he takes this beauty thing. Oh yeah, just drops it in there, doesn't he? Just drops it in there all casual like. Beautiful, well done. And there on his helmet we can see the Sick Children's Trust, a charity very close to his heart and mine after I found out about it. And it's a very worthy cause, so if you're ever feeling charitable, maybe sling them a bob or two. Vodka Rob in the chat saying, good morning, sir. You've been busy this week, ain't you? I have. Wayne Maddio Double G in the chat saying, hi, lads. And Mama Syke saying, thingy, it's you, it's me. Hello. And Skyjacker saying, big up SCT. The hell's SCT? Have I missed something?
Ready for tonight. Big Willow face vomiting. Smiling face with heart eyes.
And Bloomfield in the chat saying, ready for tonight, Big Willow. And Matt Psycho with hearts in his eyes. So Matt Psycho at the moment smashing it through, with Bendit keeping chase. DB doing, oh, Big Dan, where's that come from? Whoa. I read a bit of chat, and what happened? Who have we lost? Oh, pit stops. Okay, we won't go too far back then. Ah, yes, the hard tyre guys starting to come in, ladies and gentlemen. I got a panic on then. I really did. So Harry, Gower and Pat all coming in with their hard tyres. Now, some of those guys have still got hard tyres on. Big Dan, Koikap's on the mediums, remember, and Sid the Sloth on the softs, Aid's on the hards. Ginger is on the hards also. So some opting to stay. Oh, Pat missed out on those pit stops, did he not? No, yeah, he was behind Gower and Harry G. No, he didn't. He did miss out, but he's going to be getting... Oh, Sick Children's Trust, sorry, SCT. Big up SCT. Sorry, yeah, makes sense. Thank you, Skyjacker. Sick Children's Trust. Oh, well, I don't know. I thought it was some young hip sort of acronym that I wasn't down with, like LOL. I still don't know. LOL. I use it, but it could mean lots of love or laugh out loud. I'm of the ilk that it's always meant laugh out loud. But there are some there that have told me, no, that means lots of love. I'm like, does it? So who knows? So Matt Psycho out there in the lead. Bend it in second. Can't we just spell things? Is it so hard? Bend it in second with DB in third. Come on, DB. I think I raced DB last season in League 3. So, I'm rooting for him. Get in there, my son. Third place at the moment. Soft tyres adorned. And Matt Psycho, another purple as he crosses the line of 55.7. Bend it. 56.4, not quite able to match the Psycho. So DB in third, Big Dan moving up to fourth. Sid the Sloth making a move on Coy. I didn't catch that. Oh, a penalty, ladies and gentlemen. And Sid the Sloth on those soft tyres. Coy Cup on the medium, so an advantage already for Sid the Sloth. And the penalty just killed that bad boy off. And Coy Cup then going down a position to Sid the Sloth, who is absolutely slamming hard. He is slinging this out, ladies and gentlemen. Big Dan in fourth place. And he started slowly, didn't he? He's just been slowly working away at those tyres. And he's on his fifth lap with the hard tyre. Sid the Sloth in fifth. The soft tyres absolutely loving the track at the moment. Coy Cup on the mediums and now Aid into the pits. And wow. Gower's got himself ahead. He's gone to the medium tyre. Harry G's gone to the medium tyre. Gower has got himself ahead of Harry G, ladies and gentlemen, on the outlap, as it were. And now Gower up into 8th place, but it's not a true 8th because there's some people need to pit ahead of him. But Gower now in 8th place ahead of Harry G, and Pat in 10th. He's gone for the medium tyre also, saving that soft tyre till the end of the race. Lap 5 of 27. And we've got Aid now onto the soft tyre, and he will be pushing hard. Matt Psycho still leads, ladies and gentlemen. He is a force to be reckoned with. He cannot be touched. Although Bendit is trying to touch him so hard right now. And Bendit's getting purples. Bendit is getting purples. So better watch out, Mr. Psycho. Because the Bendit is coming. DB in third, an absolute stand-up job at the moment, building a future for himself after the pit stops. He needs to get these laps done now on these soft tyres to try and build a buffer from these guys on the slower tyre behind him. And a 58.3 you see from Big Dan. DB doing a 57.6, nearly a second faster, and that's the job you need to do to try and hold off the pit stops. That's a 57.9 from Big Dan. It's going well. Coy Cup on those medium tyres back ahead of Sid the Sloth. Sid the Sloth, though, coming in strong, ladies and gentlemen, into the corner. The soft tyre allowing him to brake somewhat later than Coy Cup. But Coy Cup at the moment playing the long game on those medium tyres. He knows it's a way to go yet. Ginger, remember, having a terrible start. He's up to 7th at the moment. He's going long on those hards. He loves it. And Mama Sight saying fingers crossed. Go Matt. He's doing a fantastic job, I must say. Ginger then had a bit of a rough start, but he's been doing some lovely laps now. The last couple of laps have been banging, and he'll be looking to close in on the pack. He's still on those hard tyres. Is he one of the only ones? I think Big Dan hasn't pitted either. So Matt Psycho started on the softs, Bendit started on the softs, DB started on the softs, Big Dan started on the hards, he's still on the hards. Coy Cup started on the mediums, you would expect him to go longer on the mediums. So it's usually the 3-lap rule, minimum 3 laps on the tyre, and Big Dan now going 6 laps, the same as Ginger. But everyone else has got rid of the hard tyre that started on the hard tyre. and are now on to an actual proper tyre and bend it. My good golly gosh, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Psycho at 55.1, 55.4, but I don't know. Matt Psycho must have made a small mistake this lap, because Bend It now is in his toe, and we are reliving Days of Thunder, or Cars, whatever you prefer. They're both the same film, if you break it down. And so Bend It right on the back of Matt Psycho. And DB just cracking on, but this is the battle on board with Bend It. The Flying Dutchman, and I thought Matt Psycho had gone wide there. And it seems okay, in control. But Bend It with the fastest lap last time around. And these guys now are starting to really lay down rubber. And there you go, Bend It, so much more confident under braking in the corners. Is it because the wings are totally different? Which I didn't know you could change the wings, and I apologise to those Nissan drivers I did liveries for. Change your wings. Don't worry about that. So Bend It on hot pursuit of the Psycho, and Matt Psycho going through a phase in the race at the moment. But he seems to be back on top and pushing hard. Bend It really is keeping him awake. DB in third with Big Dan now still on those hard tyres. Koi Carp still chasing down on the medium tyres. And now Koi Carp starting to do some flashy lap times. 57.8 from Koi last time around. 57.1 from Big Dan. So Koi just a little harder. Sid the Sloth 59.8. He's on those soft tyres. 58.9 from Ginger. Ginger closing in on Sid the Sloth. Neither of these have made their pit stops yet. Gower has made a pit stop, got rid of the hard tyre. He's onto the medium tyre. He's made the moves on Harry G, but Harry G keeping track of him. 56.8 from Gower last time around. 57.9. So Harry G just losing a little bit of pace on the Gower. Pat, big player at the beginning of this race, now a sleeping giant. He's just sitting after his pit stops, waiting for the action to come to him. Aid in 11th. Not that far behind Pat, it has to be said. Those soft tyres coming alive and helping him close in on the Pat. Matt Psycho still leads, and but not handsomely. He had a bigger gap than that, ladies and gentlemen. Bend It has closed in. And DB fighting the Nissan at the moment. Can the tyres? Would the tyres start being a little bit slippery for him, possibly? Big Dan doing the best. I mean, he's taken those hard tyres, but is it too slow? I mean, he's doing 58.6s. Koi Carp behind him, 57.6 that time. And Koi Carp has decided enough is enough. And he's now starting to wind down on the Big Dan. He is bearing down on him, ladies and gentlemen. Sid the Sloth. Super job from Sid the Sloth at the moment. 59s, look how consistent the lap times are from Sid the Sloth. And the fuel that he is saving, ladies and gentlemen, could mean a good, well, they're all got about 3/4. I thought they'd be lower than that at the moment. Lap 8 of 27. And the battle here, Matt Psycho's gone high, ladies and gentlemen. Bend It's gone low. We really are having Days of Thunder. And it's Bend It just slightly ahead of Matt Psycho. Maybe Matt Psycho's saying, I'm sick of towing you around. You can tow me around. So Bend It now in the lead of the race as Matt Psycho. I don't know if he's losing pace or what, or maybe he just doesn't want to tow Bend It around, but Bend It absolutely has gone beast mode for the last 2 or 3 laps, closed in on Matt Psycho, and now is leading this race, and who knows where it's going to go from here. Matt Psycho sitting behind Bend It. And Matt Psycho saying pretty much he wanted the tow. The tow and save some fuel. Hey, I love it when I get it the calls right. DB in third. Big Dan is fourth at the moment. And Koi Carp was seeming like a threat. And 57.0, it's got to be. But he looks further back. But no, the lap times say that Koi Carp is now pressurising Big Dan. And Big Dan, he's either got to make that pit stop or he's got to pick up the pace. It's not enough for him right now. Sid the Sloth in 6th place. Being caught by Ginger, it has to say. Ginger with an absolute torrid start. And like Big Dan, Ginger not pitting. This is extraordinary stuff. Now, I mean, I know at Daytona road course, the hard tyre isn't at such a disadvantage because of the nature of the track. There isn't that many corners to need the grip for, but still, I mean, the mediums and the softs, they last quite well. Why would you want to stay on the hards for so long? Just stay on the mediums. Excuse me. So Matt Psycho saying Bendit was flying and I couldn't shake him. So Ginger, yeah. So I question the staying on the hards for so long, because the mediums can do just as good a job and is a little bit faster. But this is their strategies. Vodka Rob saying the guys at the front aren't far off my lap times, and I'm in Group 3. Wow, there you go, guys. Vodka Rob from League 2 saying that you're close to his lap times. Bless him. How are you, Vodka Rob? Are the legs back to their bionical self, or are you still having some jip, my friend? Bend it in the lead then, and Matt Psycho chasing him down. DB in 3rd, having a very lonely race, it has to be said. He must have thought everyone's glitched out and he's driving on his own. Big Dan still. Oh no, that wasn't great. 59.4 from Koikarp last time around. So Big Dan gets a lap of fresh air. Sid the Sloth in 6th, 59.7. The consistency is absolutely delicious, although he pushed it on lap 8. It has to be said. But Sid the Sloth doing what needs to be done. Ginger on those hard tyres again. 58.0, but the hard tyres, as the fuel's going off and the track getting cooler, seems like the hard tyre is really working well. Gower, who has made a pit stop, he has got rid of the hard tyre. He's on the mediums now. And he has made a move on Harry G, who was ahead of him after the pit stops. And we didn't see it, but Gower absolutely planted one on Harry G and got by. And but Harry G 57.3 last time around, Gower a 56.8. So Harry G chasing those times. Aid is 10th place at the moment, 57.1. He's gone faster than he has gone before, and he is being chased by his teammate Pat, 58.9. Oh, has he got past Pat? I reckon he may have got past Pat, ladies and gentlemen. And Aid on those soft tyres, really starting to push on. And Pat struggling to find good pace, although that's not bad, is it? 58s and 59s, it's just he's got to wait for the pit stops. People like Ginger, Big Dan, DB, and all of these guys to pit for him to find out where he is. Oh, he's lost a place. Oh, Aid dropped it like it was mofo hot, like he was DRE. And Aid then has to limp for a corner or two until that car refixes itself. What a shame, he was on a flyer. Excuse me. Bendit leading at the moment from Matt Psycho, and DB in 3rd spot, having a very lonely race, but Big Dan is trying to alter that for him. Big Dan 57.6 with Koikarp at 57.7. It is a hard battle there between the Big Dan and Koikarp. Sid the Sloth being caught by Ginger. Ginger taking no prisoners. He had a rough start. He has not pitted yet either. Another one that Pat is waiting to pit so he can find out what position he's in. And it's tricky for Pat, because now everyone stayed out longer, so he's just got to keep planting those lap times and keep the pace up and hope he's faster than the other guys. And looking at his lap times, he's doing fairly well. He is doing fairly well, and goes retaking the lead. Sorry, we have to flick up there. So coming out of the chicane, looks like Matt Psycho getting a bit of a better run, and then goes up underneath this time of Bendit, who slips down in second. And these guys, seems like there's a pattern forming here with Matt Psycho and Bendit, giving each other toes around Daytona. DB on his own, Big Dan ahead of Koi Carp as the sun goes down here at Daytona. And Sid the Sloth doing a fantastic job also in the 7-Up Nissan. But Ginger is coming in hard, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming in hard. He's coming in fast. Prepare yourselves. And still with no pit stop on in lap 11. It does surprise me. Here we go. Are we lurching over? We are, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming in to get rid of those hard tyres. So Big Dan at the moment going the longest on the hard tyre from the start, lap 12. But if you're sitting in 4th place, then it's not that much of a concern, is it, ladies and gentlemen? And Koi Carp is closing in on him, but only fractionally, 57.4. Wow, Big Dan's really picked up those the lap times in the last couple of laps. And that's got to be demoralising for Koi Carp, as he was closing in. And then he must have suddenly thought, why the hell is he suddenly... What button did he find on his dashboard to make it go a second faster? DB 57.0, cracking lap times from DB, getting through those tyres. Bendit looking all right on the tyres, as is Matt Psycho. They're keeping them softs alive, ladies and gentlemen. And these the fuel may have to say about their, well, fuel, they haven't quite got a whole race of fuel on board, but yeah, I mean, they've got to do 3 laps on each compound, so maybe they won't pit until lap 20 and just do 3 laps on mediums, 3 laps on hards or something. DB in third, Big Dan on those hards. He's happy with them. He's comfortable. He says, this is fine. Good laps, good pace. I'll stick with these. Koi Carp, 57.6 last time around, 57.4 from Big Dan. And Koi Carp must be starting to get frustrated in that Nissan that he can't close in on Big Dan. Big Dan suddenly finding pace in the last couple of laps. Sid the Sloth being caught by Gower now. Gower looming large in Sid the Sloth's mirrors. 56.5 from Gower. Sid the Sloth 59.5. Is it his tyres? And Gower bringing Harry G along, and after that pit stop, onto the medium tyres for Ginger. He's ended up ahead of Aid, but we did see Aid have quite a big off on lap 10. He lost a good 15 seconds from it. So Ginger managing to jump Aid after the pit stops, but not Pat. So Pat doing a cracking job. That's 1 ticked off for Pat. He'll be hoping to try and get himself up into 5th place after the pit stops, I imagine. I mean, Harry G and Gower are going for a while, but I think they were ahead of Pat anyway. Sid the Sloth, he's hoping, is going to be behind him after the pit stops. And Gower trying to make the move on Sid the Sloth at the moment. Sid the Sloth defensive on the inside. If Gower wants it, he's going to have to go the long way round. And he does just that, ladies and gentlemen. All the way around. The medium tyres giving him a lot more grip than Sid the Sloth's soft. Sid the Sloth maybe have lost a bit of confidence in his tyres and unable to take those corners how he would like. Harry G coming in strong. His fight is with Gower, not Sid the Sloth. And he's going to be wanting to get that toe and get by any time soon. And like I said, Pat waiting for a bunch of pit stops really for the race to come to him. And that looks like it's going to be a penalty for Sid the Sloth there. It looked a little bit cuttered. There you go. And Harry G then comes flying by, and the gap between him and Gower is getting bigger, and he's not going to like that. He is not going to like that at all. Koi Carp into the pits. He's getting rid of the medium tyres, ladies and gentlemen. He has yet to use the hards or the softs, and Big Dan still carries on with those hard tyres. Unbelievable. DB still on the softs. Bendit still on the softs he started with, and Matt Psycho unable to shake off the Bendit, doing a beautiful job at the moment in the lead. But all can change when you've got someone that close behind. DB, how long can he keep these tyres? He's doing 57.9, so nothing wrong there. Big Dan, 57.6 on the hard tyres. It's got to say, it's an amazing pace he's found on those hard tyres. Gower has been a big player this race, ladies and gentlemen. He is absolutely slinging Nissan. He's overtaken Harry G. Didn't he make a move on Pat as well earlier in the race? So Gower, the big mover shaker of League 4. Keep an eye out for him, but Harry G won't let it go. He is coming in as well. He says, nay, you shall not have it all your own way, Gower. I am here. I am strong. Koikarp then onto the hard tyre. He's ahead of Pat. And that's a big one, because I think Pat was ahead of Coy when they pitted. So Coy making up a position, and he's on the hard tyre. Pat medium tyres. Pat's picked up a penalty though, pushing hard. Ginger will like the sound of that, as he is trying to close in on Pat as well. As Sid the Sloth gone into the pits, got rid of the soft tyre. He is onto the hard tyre now as the sun goes down here at Daytona. Unbelievable stuff. Matt Psycho comfortable, happy on his soft tyre. No sign of a pit stop from him or Bendit at the moment. DB is chewing his tyres up, but he is going around again. Let's go round again. So DB is on his way around again. Big Dan, he's Lightning McQueen. He doesn't need a pit crew. Gower in fifth place, doing his fastest lap of the race so far, and that's got to be a worrying sign for Big Dan. He isn't that far behind, and he's just gone over a second faster than Big Dan. Gower is moving on up, ladies and gentlemen, with Harry G in chase. Koikarp, he's picked up a huge penalty. That'll be great for Pat. Pat will be very pleased about a 1 second, whopping second penalty for Koikarp. So Pat will be on an extra push there with Ginger. Oh, Ginger looked like he went a little wide there, but he's still in the game. Sid the Sloth's gone for that hard tyre from soft, with Aid now on the softs. He started on the hard, I believe. Matt Psycho started on the soft. He's still on the soft. Bendit started on the soft. He's still on the soft, and he has the fastest lap of the race. DB is in third. He started on the soft. He's still on the soft, and he's still going. But the tyre is starting to look quite painful. He's doing 58s. Big Dan 57.8s behind him. Big Dan's not that far away. Good golly gosh. Good golly gosh, I said DB's having a very quiet race. It might not be that quiet for all that long, because Big Dan is he cometh the man, cometh the hero. Gower then in fifth place, with Harry G not letting him get away. And Gower, he must be feeling quite claustrophobic by how close the Harry G has been throughout this race. Koikarp, 1 second penalty, and Pat's pulled in closer as well, and Pat is going to pick himself up a nice little position here from Coy, and I think Coy on the harder tyre, so it's going to be harder for him to come back at Pat after the penalty, and it doesn't even look like Pat's going to need the penalty. Has Coy paid it? No, not yet. And Pat says, I don't need your penalty, my friend. I've got medium tyres on, you've got hard tyres on, and I'm just going to swing on by. Pat going to give him a nice little wave as they move on past. And there you go then. Pat up into seventh as Coy pays the piper. Ginger will be liking that now noise as well, with Coy on those hard tyres. And he's only on them for a short time. So he'll be wanting to whip in the pits and then get those softs on. But can the softs last? Yeah, 16 laps. These guys have made them last. DB 57.0 for DB last time around. DB on a shuffle, ladies and gentlemen. Bendit 57.4, so he's even faster than second place, and Matt Psycho seems to have pulled away a little bit now, 56.1 from himself, and there is going to be a round of pit stops surely soon. DB needs to get those tyres off. They are looking rather used, and does he? Well, we're going through this chain, and then we'll find out. And Flo Rider looking absolutely lovely in the evenings, ladies and gentlemen, in the background as DB pushes on around. Is he going to Lister to the left and get rid of those tyres? He's doing phenomenal lap times on them, so there is no need for it. But I feel time is of the essence, and he's got to use 2 other compounds of tyres. But no, cracks on. Big Dan. He has now decided to get rid of the hard tyre, and Gower will move on up into 4th, Harry G in 5th, and it's all down to Pat with Big Dan. We saw Coy came out ahead of Pat, so there's every chance that Big Dan may do as well. And Coy Carp, he's been chasing Big Dan for a majority of this race. He's got the hard tyre on, so he's going to be making another pit stop. Pat paying a penalty. Big Dan is only just got to his box, but Pat's coming in as well. Pat, did he start on the mediums? No, he started on the hards. So he's going hard on the softs. I mean, he's going to go to the softs for the rest of the race. Ginger moving up. He's like, where's all the cars gone? Because I've just jumped up 7th. And yeah, it looks like Pat's going to use his final compound. And yeah, 10 laps. Well, the guys at the front have really made those soft tyres last. 17 laps, and in the dark, I mean, now it's dark, the track will be cooler, so in theory, the soft tyre should last longer. So Bendit, though, and I guess he is just now watching the back of Matt Psycho and deciding, I'm going to do whatever you do. So if Matt Psycho goes in, then I guess Bendit will go in. And all the time Matt Psycho stays out, Bendit will stay out. They don't want to give anything away to each other at this point. DB, his tyres are melting, but I think his pace is still okay. So he's just going to crack on. Gower up into 4th. Cracking drive so far for Gower, and he's still got the soft tyre to use, I believe, as has Harry G. So these two are danger. 4th and 5th. Like, all the guys ahead of him have still got to use mediums. Here we go. DB coming in. He's still got to use mediums and hards. These two have still got to use mediums and hards. And Gower is in 4th. Doorbell's gone. That's handy. Well, someone else can get it. So Matt Psycho leads the way from Bendit in 2nd. Harry G in 3rd. DB into the pits. Gower also into the pits. That'll be his final pit stop. Harry G staying out onto the mediums. And this is stunning stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 18 of 27. And Big Dan, he got out of the pits ahead. No, yeah, he did. Ahead of Coy and... Well, Pat pitted, didn't he? Yes, and Coy Carp obviously pitted, got rid of those softs. Sorry, the doorbell really distracted me, and I missed the load. So Matt Psycho still not to pit. Bendit has not pitted. Harry G has put his hards and his mediums. He's using his mediums now. He's yet to use the softs. How far away from the leaders is he? It's a big ask from Harry G, but he's going to have the tyres at the end, and these two have still got 2 pit stops to make. Harry G, only 1 more pit stop. It's going to be a close call. Matt Psycho in. And Bendit in. Yes, they're copying each other. So Harry G, technically, I don't know if he's going to be able to lead the race. He might do. I mean, these guys might put in a bit of fuel. They're not even at their pit lane yet. It is quite a long pit stop. So Harry G could be leading this race. DB out onto the hard tyre. He's used his softs. And 4th place, that's not bad, is it? Getting out ahead of Big Dan, who was closing in on him. So great stuff here. DB onto the hards. Big Dan on the mediums. He's already used the hards. Matt Psycho is out of the pits, but Harry G went in. So Matt Psycho back out on medium tyres. But Harry G, this is his final pit stop. I'm sure of it. I am sure. He's just got to use the softs. And then these two have got to use a set of hards at the end of the race. This, ladies and gentlemen, could not be more exciting. It is a strategical race. And Vodkrov saying it's ongoing, but I soldier on. Oh, well done, man. About his legs. And Vodkrov also saying 18 laps on softs is some going. That is amazing. I mean, like I said, it is mainly an oval, so they don't get taxed as much as some tracks would. Like Big Willow, I imagine everyone's going to be off those softs after 3 laps. DB then onto the hard tyre, up into third. Big Dan medium tyres, closing in on DB, making a race for this. Gower, he's on his final run now, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to work this out. Matt Psycho's still got to pit for hard tyres. Bendit's still got to pit for hard tyres. DB has to pit for medium tyres. Big Dan's on the move. Big Dan is on the move around the outside with his medium tyres, and Big Dan takes no prisoners. And this is when Big Dan is at his best, when there's lack of grip. The man is he's anti-grip, doesn't like it. He likes a car to slide. So Big Dan in his element at the moment with a cold track and brand new medium tyres. He is having a whale of a time. Matt Psycho then leading the way, and he's still got one pit stop to make and get those hard tyres on. He needs a hard on, and Bendit also is looking for his hard on at the end of the race. Big Dan has been a shuffling god this race, smashing through, staying on those hard tyres, and I honestly thought he had been on the hard tyres too long. It cost him too much time, and he was going to be the back. But no, Big Dan has pulled off a master stroke. And I would like to see it again. DB is there in 4th place. DB has done a cracking job, held on to that third. Think he still has a pit stop to make for medium tyres, as does Big Dan for the soft tyres, remember. Gower has made all his pit stops. His Blue Arrow not that far behind Big Dan or DB. And Gower is the man to watch. I think he's going to sneak a podium here. It's going to be between him and Biggeth Daneth, I'm sure. Ginger, great drive from Ginger as well, but I think he still does have a set of tyres to use. I think he, like Big Dan, has got his soft tyres to use. Harry G, he's had all his pit stops now, and he is running to the end. So there's places to make up for him ahead. He could be he wants to stay up close behind Gower, and I think we're going to have a big showdown for that third spot between Big Dan, DB, Gower and Harry G come the end of the race. Ginger just picking up a slight penalty. He is yet to use the soft tyre with Pat. He has now used all of his tyres, as has Koikarp. These guys are racing to the end, and Pat there back up into a respectable spot. We were nervous about him. He made that early pit stop to get rid of the hard tyre and then just sort of disappeared from the race. But no, ladies and gentlemen, he was always there. Vodgrov saying I did 10 hard, 10 medium and 8 soft in the McLaren 650. And Vodgrov also saying, having said that, I think the tyre wear rate is set different for Group 3 and Group 4, ain't it? Yes, they have one less tyre thing. So Pat then on the move. Koikarp, it looks a little too far behind now to be able to get something going. Koikarp's got to pull some absolute gold seal laps out of the bag if he wants to catch up with the stats. Ginger into his pits for his last stop, so is DB, and now we are seeing what the final lineup will look like. Matt Psycho, Bendit have not pitted. Big Dan still has a pit stop to make. Gower has not. Gower and Big Dan. Gower is definitely going to be up there, but is he going to be fighting with these guys? That is the question. Is Gower really going to pull it out of the bag for the Rizzler team and be in the mix with Matt Psycho and Bendit? I say nay. I don't think enough was done earlier in the race on the hard tyre. I don't think he's going to be bothering the top two. But yeah, definitely looks like a solid third place. Harry G 55.7, 56.0. So Harry G is absolutely working hard to try and get that position back. He lost to Gower after the first round of pit stops. Pat up into 6th now, ladies and gentlemen. This has worked out absolutely deliciously for Pat. DB on the medium tyre, Pat on the soft, so DB will be a fight for him. Now that's roughly where Big Dan's going to come out, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Because DB was not that far behind Big Dan, and he's come out behind the Pats. There's a little gap there, just waiting for Big Dan. We'll see. I may be wrong. Matt Psycho at the moment leading. He has dropped Bendit. Bendit on the medium tyre cannot keep the pace of the Psycho. The Psycho still in the 55s with his medium tyres. What an immense pace he has held. And the Bendit only trying 56s and 57s, just can't get on that pace. Big Dan then comes in for that soft tyre, and it's Gower up and into 3rd spot. Harry G, he's going to grab himself 4th, and we're at 22 of 27 at the moment, and it's Pat that we're watching. Oh my word, Pat up into 5th, could it be? Or is Big Dan, he's not even out his box yet, and Pat is just swinging on by, ladies and gentlemen. And there you go. It comes to you. It comes to the patient, ladies and gentlemen. Those that are patient, it pays off. And, oh no, Big Dan's out. It's going to be a showdown. Ladies and gentlemen. Pat on the soft tyres and Big Dan on the soft tyres. And it's a clash of the Titans now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing a history in the making with Pat and Big Dan going for gold. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Pat and Big Dan showing down here at Daytona with only about 5 laps to go. Great stuff. Gower in 3rd, Harry G closing in, and he is closing in, ladies and gentlemen. Gower 55.9 last time around, 56.8, so he's a second slower, but he looks closer this lap. Bendit chasing down Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho enjoying the medium tyres a lot more. Matt Psycho and Bendit still with a pit stop to make. Gower made all his stops. Harry G has made all his stops. Pat's made all his stops. Big Dan's made all his stops. DB's made all his stops. They've all made their stops, ladies and gentlemen. They have all made their pit stops except for the 2 leaders. Oh, man alive, this is a intense race. And Gower there, super moves from Gower earlier in the race. And he has really put to work his statistician, his strategy guy has really done the job today for him. Harry G feels like he's robbed that 3rd place. He worked for that, he had it, and somehow Gower just stole it away from him outside the pits. Pat, absolutely great work so far. What's it look? He's pulling away from the Dan. See, Dan doesn't like grip. He's got grippy tyres on now, he won't be able to drive it. He's like, what's this sticky stuff? Why is the car turning in? Where's the slide? Why isn't the back end swinging round? These will be the thoughts, although he's just got through that corner absolutely wonderfully. And Pat now is under threat. Pat having to do some defensive driving. And Big Dan can't decide what side he wants to go on. There's a lot of ides in Big Dan's life at the moment. Decide a side, Big Dan. So DB in 7th, Koikap 8th, and I'm sure there's a battle there, and we'll have a look at it at the moment. We're seeing Big Dan all up and in Pat's business, and Pat doing some amazing defensive driving against the Big Dan. In the chat, Vodka Rob saying hammer time for show. They're all hammer timing. What are you saying? Gower's absolutely planting it because he knows Matt Psycho and Bendit still have to stop. Now we're in the tow, ladies and gentlemen. Can he get the move done before the chicane? And he couldn't quite do it there, so they're going to go through the chicane. He's going to wait, I think, until the start-finish straight. Seems a safer place to do it, and we saw him through that first corner, ladies and gentlemen. Seemed a lot more confident on his brakes. Closed in on the Pat quite nicely. Ooh, he's not as good through that chicane though. Pat absolutely planted it and pulled out a bit of time. So Big Dan, it's going to be a struggle for him to close up to Pat before the first corner. Look, Pat really did land the chicane there. He did an amazing job. And he's put it out of the reach of Big Dan. He's trying to get the toe to pull him in before the first corner, and he just can't do it. Unbelievable stuff. Well done, Pat. Absolutely landed that. But through this corner, we've seen Big Dan with so much more confidence than Pat, and close the gap. But there we go, Pat as well, nailing the first turn. So Coy is ahead of DB now. So Coy making a move. He's on those soft tyres, and he has got himself ahead of DB Ginger, who's trying to turn this race around. It was a terrible start, and he's made a couple of positions up, and he can see a couple of positions ahead. DB on the medium tyres might be at risk from the Ginger, and Koikarp on those soft tyres. He's not hanging around now. Matt Psycho's making his final stop, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Psycho's in for the hard tyre, and Bendit, will he continue on, or will he make the pit stop as well? And it looks to me like he's continuing on. He's continuing on, and he's going to try and grab an advantage from the medium tyre over the hard tyre. Gower, where will he sit? Oh, he's way too far. I think Matt Psycho's definitely going to be out before Gower gets around. It just looks like he's going to be a definite third for Gower, unless Bendit messes this up. Staying out one lap longer might be a mistake. Who knows? So Gower for the Rizzler team has had an absolutely banging race. And Harry G for AlphaTauri, I mean, he's done nothing wrong apart from that Gower. Gower is his nemesis. That's it. That's one to watch out, ladies and gentlemen. For the season ahead is the Harry G and Gower battle, because it looks like this one's going to rage on for a season, and then next season in the next league. Matt Psycho then out onto the hard tyre, and it's just a waiting game for him for when Bendit will pit. And it looks like Bendit just putting a lap on Sid the Sloth, and Aid there doing well. No one around him. Ginger, he's closing in on DB. There could be some late race action here with DB and Ginger. Pat, oh, he slipped behind Big Dan now. Big Dan has done the job with a 55.5 last time around. Too far away, though, from the Harry and Gower fight to get involved with that. Matt Psycho out into second, but he's waiting for the Bendit, and the Bendit must truly, surely pit at the end of this lap. And then we'll see, will this one lap on the medium tyres over Matt Psycho's outlap on the hard tyres be enough to give Bendit the lead? That is what he's aiming for, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes around towards the pits, and he'll dash to his left. Will he? Yes, he will. Into the pits, and Matt Psycho then, no, I think Matt Psycho's safe there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that extra lap on mediums with light fuel is going to be enough to propel Bendit ahead of Matt Psycho. Gower at the moment having an absolute race and a half, and he must be walking away from this race thinking that was cracking. No, Bendit not even at his box yet, and Matt Psycho into the first corner. Matt Psycho absolutely the man to be in League 4 this season, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe Skyjacker, who's on hollybobs at the moment, might put up a fight to the Psycho. And it looks like Gower, Harry G, possibly Bendit, Big Dan. It's not going to be an easy run for Matt Psycho, but at the moment he's looking like the favoured horse in the championship race. But Bendit as well, strong race from Bendit. Gower, cracking race from Gower with Harry G. It was a good race. He only lost that one position really to Gower, and other than that, perfect race, it has to be said. Big Dan, unbelievable. He's jumped a few people with that strategy. He jumped Pat, Coy, And DB, how's DB doing against Ginger? Still ahead. Still ahead. Is Kuikart closing in on Pat? 56.8 last time around. Pat at 56.6. He's safe, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't think Kuikart is going to be bothering Pat. DB, though.
Last season in League 5. I think it's going to be a close season this.
And DB then cracking on with those medium tyres. But Ginger is closing in. And here we go. Idol saying... Psycho joined late last season in League 5. I think it's going to be a close season this season. Excellent stuff. We're looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch. So don't forget, look for Idol 4 Gaming to keep a track of all the action on YouTube. He'll be covering this league and it's going to be lit, ladies and gentlemen. It's fire. Honestly, Ginger, look at him, closing in now on DB. It's exciting stuff all the way up to the end of the race. Oh, that's a little wide. He's going to get a penalty, surely, no? Maybe not. Maybe you're allowed to go wide that side. Maybe it's just the inside you're not allowed to cut. So Ginger then, looking like he saved that. And DB, lamb to the slaughter, ladies and gentlemen. And lamb to the slaughter because Ginger is bringing his A game. A torrid start for Ginger in this race. But my God, he ended it in class. Absolute class racing. Oh, I thought he was going to pick up himself a DB there under braking, and it's close stuff from these two as they make their way around on the penultimate lap of this race. And Ginger, he might have run out of time. Kuikart can't touch Pat. Pat's okay. Big Dan, he's too far away from Harry. Harry and Gower, nice gappage between them. Bendit put a great effort in for the Psycho, but just couldn't quite catch him on that medium run, wasn't he? He had him matched on the softs, just couldn't do it. So DB and Ginger is where the fight is at, ladies and gentlemen, on this final lap. Aid is in the clear, so Ginger is just pushing on to try and get something from DB. I will try and keep an eye on where Matt is. He's coming around towards the chicane. Bend it a little further back. So sorry about all the flicking around. We don't want to miss a minute of the action though, ladies and gentlemen. And look at Ginger now, all up and in his business. And it's Ginger going for a move. He's on the outside. Can he make it stick? Under braking. DB protecting. It looks like Kuikart has moved somewhere. No, okay. And Ginger then going up and ahead. And Ginger does take that position. Now quickly run up to Matt Psycho as he makes his run, ladies and gentlemen. 27 flawless laps and a great race from Matt Psycho to take the win of round 1. Fantastic stuff. Well done to that man there, Matt Psycho. Bendit in 3rd place. He put up a fight, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute fight, but the medium tyres seemed to be his undoing in the race. And he came home in 2nd. Gower, what a drive. Driver of the day, Gower, fought his way through the crowd. Harry G in 4th place. This championship is going to be something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss a single bit of the action. 5th place for Big Dan. Great strategy, hard work. Got himself some positions there in the end. Pat, great drive from Pat. Stunning stuff to keep Coy at bay and get himself a fantastic 6th place for the Rocket team. And Kuikart in 7th. And got stuck behind Big Dan on the hard tyres at the beginning of the race, and I think that was the struggle for him on the medium tyres. Just couldn't go on the attack. With Ginger now, great drive from Ginger. I mean, he turned that race right around for himself, and he got a DB, so he came in 9th. Aid bringing it on home for 10th spot. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. It's been good fun. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And so Aid brings it in for 10th place. Ahead of Sid the Sloth. And it was Bendit that got the fastest lap, so not the winner, which is always interesting. Always think that's interesting when there's someone wins and someone else gets the fastest lap. So Sid the Sloth then bringing it on home in his 7-Up and Nissan. And what an absolute banging round. Good luck next season for the season ahead, Idol. That's going to be tricky, man. My throat hurts from that. So good luck keeping track of these warriors. There's some real racers out there, Idol. And there you go, talking about real racers. Here's the man that took the spoils. It's Matt Psycho, ladies and gentlemen. What a drive, what a race, and Bendit gave him a run for his money. It was a tricky one, but in the end, Matt Psycho did the job, and Bendit put in the effort. I like it. Third for Gower. What a drive for Gower. Absolutely, a better shot of that one there. What a drive for Gower. Fantastic stuff. For third place, Harry G will probably be feeling a little bit sort of like, hey, that third was mine, but great racing anyway. For fourth, Big Dan turned that race around with a very long stint on the hard tyre, and he got some positions out of it. He jumped Pat and Coy. I don't think he jumped Coy. He was always ahead of Coy, but he jumped Pat for show. So Pat in sixth, and DB, sorry. Pat coming home in sixth. Great drive from Pat. It's so difficult when you make that early pit stop and you're driving around the back and you don't see anyone. You can easily fall off the pace, but Pat didn't. He kept his focus in. He kept the pace up, and in the end grabbed a great sixth spot for himself. So great drive from the Pat. Koi Carp. Yeah, it was a good drive. There was nothing wrong with it. He's in seventh. He started. Where did he start on the grid? He started ninth, so he's made up 2 positions, so he's got to walk away with that with a smile. But yeah, on those medium tyres, he kind of got stuck behind Big Dan, who was on the hard tyres, and he could not really make any progression in that first stint. So Koi Carp then in 7th, Ginger in 8th. What a turnaround for Ginger. He fell right to the back and had a real sort of shocking first lap, but he knuckled down, and man alive, he landed in some positions there for 8th place. DB, oh, it's a shame for DB. He should have had better positions. He had a great stint sitting in 3rd for a good long part of the race, and I honestly thought he was going to get rewarded for some good points with that race, but unfortunately at the end there comes home in 9th place. Aid in 10th, and Sid the Sloth bringing it home in 11th. Fantastic stuff. Well, that's that then, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, I'm following League 5 this season, but my man Idle for Gaming is following League 4. And if you like this and you want more of this, then get yourself over to his YouTube channel to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what will come. They're racing Willow Springs tonight. Big Willow. So that's what round 2 is. I think it's a sprint race, so get yourselves ready for that. And yeah, I enjoyed that. That was great. Well done, League 4. You're bombastic. Okay, nothing more to say. If you want to get involved with the URL, they've got Facebook, they've got a website, www.url on... Oh, I'll start that again because I got all excited. www.ultimateracingligue.com. So yeah, get involved. Come on, come and race with us. We love you too. You are cordially invited to come and whip our butts. Okay, then the last of the chats, and then I'll wrap this up and let you all get on with your Sundays. Idle saying, thank you again, mate. Appreciate it. No problem, my friend. Mama Sykes saying, well done, Matthew. Cracking race, guys. Super thingy. Hey, my pleasure. Rob saying, cracking race. It was. Nice. Matt Psycho saying, nice one thingy. And Big Rob saying, Big Willow. Yeah, it's going to be like the Dakar Rally. There's going to be a lot of off-road stuff. Okie dokie, that's that. Tiru, peace and love. Peace and love.